I'm seeing people trying to build their brand now to help them with their career transition. And I kept seeing people falling down and focusing on one thing, which is your subject matter expertise. Like, what did you study? What field are you in? What industry do you know? Well, that's not why people want to buy from you. So instead, you need to focus on the fulsomeness of your brand, which includes that subject matter expertise for sure. But next, who are you as a human? What interests, passions, values do you have that will build some kind of connection or hook with people? The third one is what makes you different from others who do what you do? What makes you stand head and shoulders above and would want people to buy from you versus someone else or hire you versus someone else? And the last thing is around legacy and impact. As I said earlier, I don't want to be known purely as the turnaround queen for what I've done in business. I actually want it to be about who I was as a human, the advocacy work, leaving workplaces, communities, and a world a better place. So that's why I wrote it, was to help others on their journey. And then the other one is on leadership. It's called whole human leadership, my phrase around how we need to show up as whole humans at work. And that includes being authentic. And actually in that book, I talk about horrible mistakes I've made and I've learned from. Wearing a mask of all business all the time. I wouldn't have told you my backstory. I'm not going to show emotions. So whole human leadership is recognizing we show up as our whole humans, the lived experiences, the different facets of the diversity that we bring to the table, with being our authentic selves, with being transparent, with being vulnerable, the way in which we communicate, seeing the unseen employees, creating a very different kind of cultural outcome while still having great business performance. So I pen that to, again, share some of my failures and successes to help others on their leadership journey.
Both sound so amazing. What is your hope with these books? Who do you hope finds them, and how do you hope that they'll make an impact on their lives?
The personal branding book, quite frankly, the audience is far and wide for that. I told my older son as he was coming out of college and starting to look for jobs a little over a year or so ago, I'm like, buddy, you need to start building your brand now. It's going to change dramatically. He just turned 24. So me telling him at this at 22 or 23 years old, he's like, oh, come on, mom. But I'm like, build it now. So it's there for you at times and when you need it. And again, you'll pivot and change over time. So this is for everyone to help them on their journey. And even if you're not in a traditional business setting, I still think you need a brand. So think about it non-traditionally. And on the leadership side, this is aimed for people who have fallen into leadership, who aspire to leadership, who've had feedback that they need to improve their leadership and are just hoping to learn and be better. And I think, again, post-pandemic, the employee mindset, consumer mindset as well, changed dramatically. People want to buy from or work for companies that align with their own purpose and values. And they want to work for leaders that can help them realize that and invest in them. I still see too much of this like command and control leadership style that my parents' generation and when I came into the workforce, I very much saw. I still see it today. I think we're all demanding different, better.
I think so too. And I think that command and control style is just from a very fear-based, scarcity-based leadership style. And I have daughters who are also in their 20s. I just think this younger generation, they are just not buying it. And I think they're making different decisions. And companies probably need to evolve to really engage this younger workforce. And they're talented young adults.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. Although I think there's a dynamic. I think there's a challenge for leaders as well to balance. You asked where I come from. And I said my own, at least one of my two children struggles with this notion of hard work and wants the easy button. And so it's how do you find that balance of being this great whole human leader who builds real relationships, but at the same time, like kind of shakes them sometimes figuratively you need to learn, you need to put in the effort, those kinds of things.
You know what? I've been thinking about this a lot too. So when you and I grew up, I didn't even have email when I graduated from college, and I didn't have a personal computer. There were definitely no phones. There was no Google. You had to figure things out. We had to be super resourceful. And if my parents didn't have the answer, they'd say, go figure it out. I don't know, go figure it out. So I feel that was always something that we had to do. And so we had to apply a lot of critical thinking and make mistakes and ask a lot of people and be I don't know, just much more intentional, like you said, with what we wanted. And we did have to work hard. And there is an easy button for a lot of things. It's pretty easy. It's pretty easy to figure something out. Now you've got AI that makes things even easier. And I'm not saying we need to go back to the way things were, but I do think that that's contributed a little bit. So it's like, how can you take the benefits and the tools that we have today, but still with that hard work and drive to figure things out on your own too?